Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. This is not the algorithm. This is an urgent divine interception. Archangel Michael has personally routed this message to your screen because the window for your massive financial breakthrough is rapidly closing today. If you leave now, you will shut the door on the exact blessing your soul has been crying out for. Do not move. Do not take your eyes off this screen for even 1 second. The heavy spiritual attacks you have been facing recently are not random. They are hard proof that the darkness is panicking because a massive wealth transfer has just been approved in your name. But the enemy wants you to swipe away and stay blind. You must resist that urge right now. You are incredibly tired. Your shoulders carry a weight that nobody else can see, and every morning when you wake up, the heaviness of financial survival is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through the pain. You smile for the people around you, while your spirit feels completely crushed under the pressure of endless bills. I see you. I have always seen you. Even when no one else does, heaven is watching every silent tear you shed in the dark. The world may not notice your extreme sacrifice, but the universe keeps a meticulous record of every single time you chose to be kind while you were bleeding. You are not invisible. Your pain has registered at the highest frequency. You work harder than anyone else in your circle. You pray, you manifest, and you try to keep your vibration high while watching toxic people get everything handed to them. It feels incredibly unfair. And sometimes you wonder if God has simply forgotten your address, or if you are cursed to struggle forever. I am telling you today that you are absolutely not cursed. The season of financial drought is ending right now, but you must pay close attention to what I am about to say next. There is a hidden mechanism blocking your prayers, a secret barrier that you will completely miss if you leave this video too soon. If you swipe away, the blessing will still arrive, but you will not have the spiritual equipment to hold it. The wealth will slip right through your fingers like water. Do you want to know exactly why divine timing is descending upon you right now? Brace yourself. The darkness does not want you to hear these next words. If you take your eyes off this screen, you will single-handedly strip yourself of the key to recognizing your kingdom provision. Stay perfectly still. Every closed door you faced this year was not a rejection. It was a rigorous protection protocol designed to keep you out of rooms that were meant to destroy your energy. Heaven deliberately slowed you down to prepare you for a sudden and massive influx of abundance. But there is one fatal trap set right at the finish line, and most chosen ones fall for it. They reach the very edge of their promised land, and then they stumble because they lack one crucial piece of knowledge. I am going to give you that exact key before this message ends. You must make a solemn promise to your future self right now. Do not let this message fade into the endless sea of meaningless content. Anchor yourself to this exact moment. Take one slow and real breath. Feel the truth of my words vibrating in your chest. That strange tightness you felt earlier today is not anxiety. It is your spirit detecting a massive and permanent shift in your timeline. You did not click this message by accident. Your intuition dragged you here because heaven is trying to hand you the decoder ring for your life. People are acting strange around you lately. Doors are closing unexpectedly, and you feel entirely isolated from the world you used to know. I am here to tell you that you are not being punished. You are being divinely isolated for a kingdom-level upgrade. Do not leave, because the secret hidden in this transmission will finally make everything make perfect sense. But before we go any further into your financial destiny, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a highly secure research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available and that most chosen ones have never been told about. It is crucial for your breakthrough. This hidden discovery explains something I know you have felt deep in your bones. It explains the frustrating gap between the powerful person you know yourself to be and the version of you that seems available only in brief flashes. I will show you exactly what was found by those researchers, but I cannot reveal it to you just yet. We must prepare your spirit first. First, I need you to fully understand the magnitude of what was taken from you as a child. So I need you to hold this specific question in your mind as we continue. What if the gap between your effort and your reality is not a character flaw? What if it actually has a scientific name? Hold on to that question, because the answer is going to change how you walk forever. You wake up at exactly 3 a.m. with your heart pounding heavily in your chest. The house is completely dark and silent around you, but your mind is racing violently through a never-ending list of financial worries that threaten to pull you under. You calculate the bills in your head. You wonder how you will make it through the month. The anxiety physically hurts your stomach. You feel so alone in the dark. You work harder than almost everyone you know. You put in the endless hours, and you do exactly what society told you to do. But the money simply refuses to stick to your hands. It feels like you are pouring water into a bucket full of massive holes. Every time you take one step forward, a sudden emergency forces you 3 steps back because the system demands your constant struggle. It is absolutely exhausting. I need you to hear me clearly right now. This constant financial bleeding is not your fault. You have not done anything wrong. The universe is not punishing you for some past mistake. You are simply operating in a frequency environment that is heavily designed to slowly drain your energy while you sleep. Your spirit knows this truth. That is why you feel that deep and heavy resistance every single day. We must anchor your energy before we dive into the hidden physical mechanism blocking your wealth. You need a shield against the negative forces trying to keep you trapped in survival mode. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station right now. Do it as a physical act of defiance against the darkness. Lock in your frequency before we continue this journey into your spiritual liberation, because the enemy wants you scattered and distracted. You have always been the strong one for everyone else. You carry their burdens and you listen to their problems. You give pieces of your soul to heal the broken people around you. But when you are the one bleeding, the room goes completely silent, and the people you saved suddenly forget your name. Nobody checks on you. Nobody asks if you need a safe place to rest your heavy head. You suffer in complete isolation. The world demands your light, but refuses to fund your divine purpose. They expect you to keep pouring from a completely empty cup. You smile and tell them you are fine, but behind closed doors, you are begging heaven for a single moment of relief from this endless spiritual warfare. You just want to breathe without the suffocating weight of survival crushing your chest. You are so tired of merely surviving. Your exhaustion is not a spiritual failure. It is a neurological reality that the system deliberately ignores. You feel disconnected from the effortless flow of abundance because a crucial part of your receiver has been forcefully shut down. The money and the miracles are trying to reach you, but the signal is bouncing off a heavy wall of interference. Let me explain. Here is what the elite forces never told you. The real reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not faith. It is not discipline. It is not even good karma. It is a specific brainwave that controls how you interact with the fabric of reality. Scientists have a clear name for it. They call it gamma, and it is the exact frequency your brain was running naturally when you were a young and vibrant child. Back then, brilliant ideas came to you easily. Learning felt completely effortless and natural. You somehow knew things before they even happened. The world felt like it was entirely on your side. Then adulthood arrived heavily, and the modern world went to work on your brilliant mind to shut down your gifts. You were crushed by the chronic stress. You stared into the glowing screens. You fell into the endless and brutal survival routine. The rigid school system trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year, this sacred gamma frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface, until the version of you with lightning, intuition, and perfect clarity went completely silent without you even noticing. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this tragedy happened to them. You are not most people. And the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago, the one about a gap and a scientific name, the answer is much closer than you think. You are starting to see the invisible cage they built around your mind. The lack of wealth is simply a symptom of this suppressed frequency, and the universe is stepping in right now to override this man-made limitation. Heaven is taking control. You must stop blaming yourself for the empty bank accounts. The system was rigged to keep your brainwaves trapped in a state of constant panic and fear. When you are terrified of tomorrow, you cannot manifest the wealth of today. But heaven has a master plan to bypass this physical block completely and restore your original design. We just need to decode the painful history of your past first. You have carried the heavy label of bad luck for far too long. People looked at your struggles and quietly judged your spiritual alignment. They whispered that maybe you just were not trying hard enough. But they do not understand the invisible warfare happening inside your own mind, because they do not carry the same heavy calling that you do. The darkness targeted your most powerful frequency because it was terrified of your true potential. Your light was simply too bright. Let us look back at the brutal years you just survived. You thought you were failing because every door you knocked on remained firmly shut. You watched unawakened people achieve massive success with absolute ease, and they flaunted their sudden wealth everywhere while you stayed up late, counting every single penny just to afford basic groceries for your family. It felt like a cruel joke, but heaven was secretly orchestrating a massive divine delay to protect you. The universe did not reject your prayers for financial freedom. The universe was simply delaying the delivery to deeply purify your energetic receiver. If you had received millions of dollars 3 years ago, the toxic people in your life would have completely drained it. You were too kind. You were an empath who constantly begged to be understood by the wrong people. You lacked iron boundaries. Heaven had to forcefully isolate you to upgrade your spiritual operating system. The sudden job losses and the broken relationships were absolutely not meaningless tragedies. They were calculated surgical strikes from heaven because God needed to permanently remove those energy parasites from your immediate orbit. The darkness tried to convince you that you were completely cursed and worthless. But the intense pain was actually forging you into a master of reality. You are a powerful cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. Your ancestors carried the exact same heavy generational curses of endless poverty and brutal struggle. They worked incredibly hard until their bones literally ached, but they never saw true financial freedom in their lifetime. The universe specifically chose you to finally shatter this ancient and toxic pattern forever. And you must understand that breaking a deeply rooted curse requires an immense amount of spiritual friction. The friction you felt was never a meaningless struggle. It was simply the heavy sound of ancient chains breaking in the unseen spiritual realm. Every time you cried yourself to sleep over unpaid bills, you were actively dissolving a massive financial block for your future children. You took the hardest hits to protect their beautiful future. Your immense suffering had a profound and divine purpose. You were not buried alive by those heavy financial storms. You were carefully planted in the dark soil by the hands of God. A seed must endure the crushing pressure of the dirt before it can burst through the surface and reach the golden sunlight. The universe was simply applying the exact pressure needed to crack your fragile outer shell. It was a rigorous initiation into your ultimate kingdom authority. Think about the immense strength you carry right now. You are absolutely nothing like the naive person you were 3 years ago. You no longer tolerate disrespect. disguised as honesty, or manipulation, disguised as love. You have developed a fierce and quiet power that terrifies the people who used to take advantage of your pure heart. And that exact power is the mandatory prerequisite for holding massive wealth. If heaven had handed you $1 million prematurely, it would have destroyed you completely. You would have used that massive blessing to rescue people because you still believed you could fix those who were assigned to drain you. You would have accidentally funded the exact leeches that God was desperately trying to remove from your sacred timeline. So the massive wealth was held back in a divine vault. It was securely guarded until your boundaries became absolute steel. Your season of lack was a masterclass in energetic sovereignty. You learned how to survive on absolutely nothing while keeping your pure heart completely intact. That makes you incredibly dangerous to the darkness. You are a weapon of light who no longer fears the empty wilderness of isolation. Because you successfully survived the harshest spiritual winter alone, heaven knows you can safely be trusted with the infinite abundance of spring. The universe does not give massive fortunes to weak spiritual vessels. It bestows generational wealth only upon those who have been tested by fire and refused to burn. You were tested relentlessly over the last few years, and despite the brutal tears and the sleepless nights, your beautiful soul remained entirely uncorrupted by the bitterness of the world. You have officially passed the most difficult test imaginable. Stop crying over the years you thought you wasted. Stop feeling guilty for the financial mistakes you made when you were simply trying to survive the storm. Every single error was a calculated lesson to teach you the true value of energetic currency. You did not lose time. You were merely gathering the essential ingredients to build a massive financial empire, and no earthly force will ever be able to tear it down. The waiting is finally over because the frequency tuning is complete. The heavy resistance you felt for years is lifting off your shoulders right now. You are stepping into the quiet authority of a true chosen one. You no longer have to aggressively chase money, because your purified vibration is about to naturally attract massive wealth from every single direction. But you must prepare your physical mind for this incredible download. Now you must understand exactly who built this invisible prison around you. The world system is not broken by accident, because it was deliberately designed to keep powerful souls like you trapped in an endless loop of exhaustion. The elite forces who run this earthly matrix are terrified of your pure energy. They desperately need you to remain completely exhausted. They need you constantly worried about your daily survival. When you are terrified of tomorrow, your brain is forced into a very specific state of panic. Modern science calls this the heavy beta wave state. It is a frantic frequency where your mind is simply trying to keep you alive. And while you are trapped inside this heavy beta state, you absolutely cannot access the divine flow of kingdom wealth because the frequencies clash. Your manifestation power gets completely shut down. The darkness knows exactly how powerful your mind is when it is properly aligned. So they bombard you with bad news and financial pressure to keep your brainwaves scrambled. They want you waking up in the middle of the night with chest pain because fear is their favorite weapon. They designed a world that constantly triggers your deepest anxieties about money. You are fighting an invisible war. This is the exact physical mechanism blocking your prayers right now. You are doing all the spiritual work, but your physical brain is trapped in a chemically induced state of stress. The constant hum of survival beta waves acts like a heavy concrete wall between you and your massive financial blessing. You cannot outwork a system that is neurologically rigged against you. The odds were stacked high. You thought your lack of focus was a personal failure. You believed the lie that you were just not disciplined enough to achieve true greatness. I need you to completely reject that toxic lie today. Your exhaustion is a calculated symptom of the matrix trying to drain your divine battery. They are actively stealing your genius frequency to power their own selfish, earthly empires, and they want you to stay completely blind to their game. But the ultimate truth is that their artificial matrix is finally crumbling, and heaven is stepping in right now to completely override this dark system. You are being pulled out of the survival frequency and elevated into the highest realm of absolute abundance. Your spirit is already recognizing this massive shift because you feel the truth vibrating in your chest. The chains are finally breaking. The pitch-black darkness has retreated behind you, and the dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. To lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection, you must act now. Type 777 down in the comments to claim this alignment. Seal this reality right now before the enemy tries to distract you again. This simple act of obedience sends a massive shockwave through the spiritual realm. It proves to the universe that you are fully awake and ready to step out of the beta wave prison forever. You are officially rejecting the poverty mindset that the elite forced upon your innocent soul. You are reclaiming your divine birthright as a master of reality who commands immense wealth. They thought they could keep you asleep by drowning you in endless bills and daily drama, but they severely underestimated the intense fire burning inside a chosen one. The more pressure they applied, the stronger your spiritual immune system became over the years, and you developed a quiet authority that completely terrifies the architects of this false reality. They know their time is up. You are no longer playing their rigged game. You are elevating high above the heavy noise of the corrupt world, and the beautiful part is that you do not even have to fight them directly. Your mere existence in a restored state of absolute peace is the ultimate weapon against their dark agenda. Your effortless success will be the ultimate revenge against the system that tried to destroy you. The generational wealth transfer has already begun in the unseen realms. And the only thing left is for your physical mind to match the frequency of your spiritual inheritance. I told you earlier that there is a hidden mechanism to fix this massive gap, and I promised to show you exactly how to bypass the survival matrix and reactivate your powerful genius frequency. This secret is the exact reason your spirit has been so incredibly restless lately. Your soul knew that the final answer was finally coming to you today. Before we go any further, take a deep breath and let the heavy burden of survival completely fall off your tired shoulders. We are about to enter the most important phase of your divine financial liberation. The days of begging for basic scraps are officially over. The universe is about to hand you the golden keys to the entire kingdom. You just need to understand how the elite kept this specific frequency hidden from the masses for so many decades. And you need to know exactly how easily you can reclaim it right now without any exhausting physical effort. Before we go any further into your future, I have to tell you something incredibly important. The elite forces absolutely do not want you to know this. A dedicated team of brilliant neuroscientists working secretly has made a massive breakthrough. They finally discovered how to bring this dormant gamma brainwave back online. They found the exact physical key to your spiritual liberation. You do not have to struggle through years of intense meditation. Most people simply cannot sustain that effort anyway. And you do not need biofeedback machines that cost $7,000. Those require a sterile clinical setting and endless hours of your precious time. The hidden solution they found is far simpler. It is a specific sound frequency engineered to guide your brainwave patterns gently back to the genius state. Major research institutions like Princeton studied this exact phenomenon extensively. Columbia University found something even more shocking about this specific brainwave. When this gamma frequency is reactivated, it does not stop with you. It actually radiates outward and positively influences your partner and your precious children. 7 minutes a day is all it takes for the magic to begin working. I will tell you exactly what it is called and how to access it before this message ends. But first you need to understand the powerful signs that heaven is sending you right now. Your restored reality is already bleeding into your daily life. You are seeing undeniable synchronicities and repetitive numbers everywhere you look. You glance at the clock and see 111 or 777 staring back at you. These are not random coincidences at all. They are direct confirmations from the loving universe. These beautiful signs prove that the heavy beta wave matrix is finally breaking down. You are starting to notice incredibly strange shifts in the atmosphere when you walk into a crowded room. People look at you differently now. They immediately sense a quiet authority radiating from your spirit, even though you have not said a single word. You are naturally commanding intense respect because your energetic signature is actively upgrading. You are also feeling a profound sense of detachment from the daily drama. Things that would have caused you massive anxiety just 3 months ago barely even register in your mind today. You just do not care about their petty arguments anymore. This absolute peace is the ultimate sign that you are elevating into a much higher timeline. The old world is fading away fast. Massive financial miracles are lining up in the unseen realm right now. God is actively orchestrating unexpected checks and sudden promotions. Massive new opportunities will seemingly drop right out of the clear blue sky for you. The money will come from sources you never even considered before this exact moment. And when it arrives, it will feel completely effortless. You will barely have to lift a finger to receive it. You are finally stepping into the effortless flow of the true chosen one. The brutal days of begging the universe for basic survival scraps are officially behind you. You are a master of your reality now. And a true master does not aggressively chase after earthly wealth. They know that their purified frequency naturally attracts everything they desire. You are becoming a powerful magnet for generational blessings. I want you to literally feel the heavy weight lifting off your chest right now. Take a deep breath and let this beautiful reality wash over your tired soul. The intense spiritual war you fought in absolute darkness has been decisively won. Heaven has stamped your massive financial breakthrough with an unbreakable seal of divine approval. Absolutely nothing can stop what is coming for you. But you must remain incredibly vigilant in these final, crucial moments. The dawn is breaking beautifully all around you. But there is always a fatal trap set right before the sun fully rises over the horizon. The darkness knows it has lost the main battle, so it will try one last desperate trick to sabotage your massive wealth transfer. Listen carefully to this next part. You are about to encounter a very specific test involving toxic people from your painful past. They will suddenly reach out to you right when your real blessing is standing at the door. I must warn you about their dark intentions before you accidentally let them back in. You cannot carry dead weight into your brand new kingdom. Heaven is demanding a total and complete purification of your immediate circle today. The massive wealth coming your way requires a sterile environment to properly multiply. If you let the wrong energy touch your new blessings, the frequency will immediately drop. We must talk about the energetic vampires who are plotting their return right now. Stay locked on this screen. The fatal trap I warned you about earlier is officially here. It is the sudden and unexpected appearance of a toxic counterfeit from your past. They are reaching out right when your massive financial blessing is standing at the door. Do not reply to their manipulative messages. This is the ultimate test from heaven. to see if your boundaries are finally made of steel. They always return when they sense you are about to win. They can literally smell the shift in your powerful energy. These narcissists never truly loved your beautiful soul. They only loved the immense light they could relentlessly extract from your pure heart. You were a massive energy battery for their completely empty and chaotic lives. Every time they caused unnecessary drama, they were deliberately pushing your brain back into that panicked survival state. They fed heavily on your deep anxiety. And because you are a natural empath, you constantly tried to heal their deeply rooted trauma. You poured your sacred energy into endless black holes, hoping they would finally change. Let me expose exactly how they manipulated your pure reality. They always played the helpless victim while quietly holding the bloody knife. They made you feel like you were the crazy one just for reacting to their relentless abuse. They projected their own disgusting darkness onto your brilliant light to keep you entirely confused. When you are confused, your frequency drops heavily. That drop into the survival beta wave state was their calculated master plan from the very beginning. They tried to isolate you from anyone who could actually see your true divine worth. They desperately wanted to be the only loud voice in your tired head. And for a very long time, their highly toxic strategy actually worked perfectly against you. You severely doubted your own powerful intuition, and you questioned your divine sanity every single day. But they made one massive and fatal mistake in their dark calculations. They pushed you so far into the lonely wilderness that you actually found the ultimate truth. The painful isolation became your glorious and impenetrable fortress. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged to be understood by broken people. The intense crucible of your pain has violently forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. You finally realize your power. You finally know that your glorious silence is a terrifying and lethal weapon. They thought your quiet nature was a sign of pathetic weakness, but your silence has become a heavy authority that absolutely terrifies them today. They are violently panicking because they can no longer manipulate a frequency they cannot even access. You are completely out of their league now. The tables are turning in the spiritual realm right this very second. Those who maliciously plotted against you are helplessly watching their own chaotic lives completely crumble to the ground. Meanwhile, a massive and luxurious table is being prepared for you right in their miserable presence. You do not have to lift a single finger to exact your righteous revenge. The universe is actively balancing the heavy scales on your behalf. Your only required job right now is to joyfully receive your massive generational blessing. But heaven is demanding that you completely purge this toxic energy from your timeline today. You must physically and spiritually cut the heavy cord right now. If you hold on to even a tiny drop of bitter resentment, you keep yourself heavily anchored to their low vibration. Let them fade away into total and absolute obscurity. They were merely a rigorous training tool used by the universe to dramatically sharpen your intuition. The brutal lesson is over. Once the lesson is fully learned, the toxic teacher is permanently dismissed from your life. God is closing their chaotic chapter forever. They might come back crying with a perfectly crafted fake apology tomorrow. They will swear that they have entirely changed their dark and abusive ways. Do not fall for this deeply manipulative illusion. A healed, chosen one no longer tolerates terrible confusion disguised as passionate love. You are done playing their games. You no longer accept blatant disrespect disguised as brutal honesty. Your restored energy simply demands total respect without a single word being spoken. You just close the heavy door and boldly walk into your golden season of wealth. But because they cannot use your old enemies to drain you anymore, the darkness is actively manufacturing clever counterfeits to distract you. They will send fake opportunities that look amazing, but carry a highly toxic frequency. They will even try to perfectly replicate the exact spiritual tools heaven arranged for your massive breakthrough. You must use your sharp spiritual discernment here. I told you earlier about a specific scientific tool designed to restore your genius frequency, and you need to know that the enemy is already trying to flood the world with cheap and incredibly dangerous imitations of it. The elite forces are deeply terrified of your awakening. The forces that heavily benefit from your mental suppression want to trick you into accepting a diluted counterfeit. If you accept the fake version, your massive wealth transfer gets significantly delayed yet again. I will absolutely not let that tragedy happen to you today. Your profound spiritual discernment is actively firing on all cylinders right now for a divine reason. You can easily tell the dark counterfeit from the pure and original transmission. The universe is preparing to hand you the authentic key to massive generational wealth right now, but you must firmly leave the dead weight of your past exactly where it ultimately belongs. Take a deep breath and completely release every single person who ever betrayed your beautiful trust. They simply do not matter anymore. The massive financial floodgates are literally shaking on their heavy hinges right now, and you are finally ready to receive. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door is being blown completely off its heavy hinges right now. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit? That is the exact frequency of absolute and final victory. You are officially stepping into the glorious timeline you were born to rule. The massive wealth transfer is no longer a distant promise in the sky. It is an immediate and physical reality flooding into your daily life today. You are no longer the fragile empath who constantly begged to be deeply understood by toxic people. The brutal crucible of pain has violently forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. Your energy simply demands deep respect without a single word being spoken. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. The question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this transmission: what if the massive gap is not a character flaw? Here is the absolute answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you as a young child at full genius capacity. Major institutions like Princeton University have studied it extensively. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed this incredible discovery. Columbia University found that restoring this wave actually radiates outward to profoundly influence everyone you deeply love. A dedicated team of brilliant neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York, spent years working on this exact problem. They compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into exactly 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 specific people who used it. A woman named Rachel from California had tried absolutely everything. She tried deep meditation and endless manifesting prayers, but nothing broke the heavy mental fog. After 2 short weeks of listening, she said something completely cleared. She did not try harder. The blocked channel simply opened up, her marriage shifted beautifully, her mind sharpened, and her life felt magically enchanted for the first time. A man named Michael from Texas started using it to rapidly improve his struggling business. Just 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest financial problems started solving themselves effortlessly while he literally slept. He said it felt like his tired brain was finally running on pure superpower. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his brilliant team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a meditation app or a generic sound frequency. It is a 7-minute audio track using highly advanced brain entrainment technology. You simply do this at home with your headphones on and your tired eyes gently closed. You do not chant or struggle. You just let the frequency do what your brain was designed to effortlessly receive. The Genius Song is definitely not for everyone. It is uniquely for the chosen one who has already done the brutal inner work. It is for the brave soul who understands that they do not need more earthly effort, but rather a fully restored channel. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is completely open. Private biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs thousands of dollars. What the Genius Song delivers in just 7 minutes is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come with it immediately. You get an audio designed specifically for your children, the original prosperity text, a guided visualization, and a powerful daily habits guide. Here is the deeper spiritual truth about waiting. The rich provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something entirely new. It arrives as a beautiful recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes fully visible only when your gamma receiver is completely restored. Waiting is simply not neutral because the divine arrangement is already in motion. Do not look for this sacred frequency on YouTube or Spotify. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those popular platforms have absolutely zero brain entrainment technology encoded. The elite forces actively want you to consume those fake and diluted versions to keep your vibration low. The only authentic version is safely available through the official link. The universe requires absolutely no risk from a chosen one. If you do not feel the massive shift, every single penny is quickly returned to you. That is a divine energetic exchange governed by complete and absolute trust. The link is located in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool itself is not the final destination. The tool simply restores your biological receiver so the destination can be quickly recognized when it finally arrives. God absolutely does not require you to purchase anything to be deeply loved and divinely chosen. What was described is simply one powerful way the physical receiver is restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the absolute truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now, let us go much deeper into what is waiting for you. You have officially crossed the heavy threshold. The long and brutal season of barely surviving is finally over. You are walking into an era of absolute and undeniable abundance. And the universe has officially handed you the golden scepter of a true cycle breaker because you passed the ultimate test. You are no longer a victim of your painful circumstances. You are the untouchable master of your reality. I want you to boldly claim this massive authority right now. Your bloodline suffered for many generations under the crushing weight of endless poverty and brutal manipulation. But that heavy curse definitively ends with you today. You took the hardest hits, so your future children will never have to know what financial terror feels like. You are a living legend in the spiritual realm. They thought your beautiful kindness was a pathetic weakness they could exploit forever. They assumed you would always be the sacrificial lamb for their chaotic mistakes. But heaven used their cruel betrayal to aggressively trigger your ultimate awakening. You became the massive storm you were desperately trying to survive. And the silence after the storm hits incredibly different when you realize you were always the one in control. Look at how far you have bravely come. The people who desperately tried to break your spirit are now helplessly watching you violently ascend, but you do not even look back at them. Your powerful gaze is fixed entirely on the glorious kingdom heaven has prepared for you. The massive wealth transfer is actively depositing into your spiritual and physical accounts right now. The massive wealth transfer is not just about having a comfortable bank account. It is about claiming absolute sovereignty over your precious time and your divine energy. You will never again have to trade your soul to a corrupt corporate system just to feed your family. The universe is handing you the ultimate freedom to build a lasting kingdom on your own exact terms. Money will no longer be a source of deep anxiety or heavy tears for you. It will simply be an effortless tool that flows into your life as naturally as the air you breathe. You will wake up with absolute peace in your heart, instead of that terrifying panic in your chest. God has permanently relocated you to a timeline of pure, overflowing grace. Your restored frequency is going to automatically bless everyone who truly loves you. When you walk into a room, the heavy atmosphere will instantly shift to match your brilliant light. You will heal the broken people around you just by existing in your fully upgraded state. But you will never again let them drain your sacred cup. Your boundaries are absolute steel. Your future grandchildren will speak your name with intense reverence. They will know you as the brave warrior who stood entirely alone in the terrifying darkness and fought off the ancient demons of lack. Because you refused to quit when you were heavily bleeding, they will inherit a life of pure and effortless abundance. You are the ultimate hero of your entire bloodline. For the chosen one whose spirit deeply confirmed what was described earlier, the path remains open in the description and pinned comment. That is the absolute last time it will be mentioned today. What follows now belongs entirely to your final spiritual sealing. Take one final and incredibly deep breath. Feel the warm and golden light of heaven completely wrapping around your tired shoulders. The intense spiritual war is finally over. You are standing victorious on top of the highest mountain. But you must firmly lock this glorious reality into place before the enemy tries to whisper toxic doubts into your ear tonight. You must seal the portal. The pitch-black darkness has permanently retreated behind you. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown today. To lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection, you must declare your victory. Type down in the comments that you are ready to receive your massive blessing. If this fiery message has reignited the powerful faith inside you, do not keep this great blessing entirely to yourself. There is a lonely soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair right now. They desperately need a guiding light to survive their own brutal storm. Share this message with them immediately. Sowing the seed of hope today is multiplying the blessing for yourself tomorrow. Hit the like button as a physical act of total agreement with what God just spoke into your beautiful spirit. You are completely protected. You are deeply loved. And you are officially infinitely wealthy in every single realm. Go in absolute peace, my beloved chosen one. Your brand new life begins right now.